Arsenal are so close to doing something special. And if this happens, it will definitely transform more than one part of the pitch for Arsenal. Also, we're going to be speaking about Emil Smith-Rowe, William Saliba. But there's some interesting conversation that we need to have about Ben White that not many people are speaking on that I wanted to get your guys' opinions on. Before we get into it though, just very quickly, do me a favour. Just hit like on this video. So the first place we're going to start is Mikel Moreno. The guy from Real Sociedad, 28 years old, just won the Euros. You know, there's been links between Arsenal and this player for probably the last 2 or 3 weeks. But in the last 24 hours, it seems like the links are heating up. It seems like everybody's reporting this guy might be coming to Arsenal. First of all, I want to hear your thoughts. Would you want Mikel Moreno at Arsenal? And I'm going to tell you why this guy could actually transform more than one position. I'm looking at this guy, I've done the research on him, and I am so excited about the possibility of Mikel Moreno. Now, on the surface, this guy isn't a transformative signing. You're looking at it and saying, right, okay, he's a decent central midfield player, but he definitely has attributes of his game, like I said, that can not only impact the central midfield position, but I think it could bring back a fan favourite and bring him back to the peak of his powers in Gabriel Martinelli. I'm going to tell you why. Look, first of all, the profile of the player. He's a 6'2" central midfielder. He can play the deeper role, but his best position is probably in that number 8 role. And I'm looking at that and saying, look, Xhaka was a massive part of this Arsenal team 2 seasons ago, and look how well he played that role. I'm looking at Mikel Moreno, and I am definitely drawing comparisons between Moreno and Granit Xhaka. Like I said, left-footed player, 6'2", very combative, very good in the air, but it's the way that he plays. You know, it really brings back, you know, like I said, it reminds me of Granit Xhaka, and I really think that could help Gabriel Martinelli, because if you see Moreno play, you will see he's always playing cutting through balls for the left winger to run onto, and that's something that Gabriel Martinelli lacked massively last season. You know, we saw Declan Rice or Havertz occupy that number 8 position, both okay players, but in terms of a Granit Xhaka, they don't play anything like a Granit Xhaka, who liked at time playing them cutting through balls that Martinelli would run onto and then do his best work. And I think Mikel Moreno could definitely offer similar attributes to what Granit Xhaka had. And I'm not saying this guy is exactly the same as Granit Xhaka, of course, but I do definitely see comparisons. In terms of his output, look, last season he got 8 goals and 5 assists. And for a central midfielder, those are very, very good numbers. If he came to Arsenal and he done that kind of output, I would be very impressed. Now, I don't think this is a player that will start every single game, and I don't think he has to. Look, if Mikel Moreno comes in, I would probably want to see another central midfielder as well. But the thing that interests me about Moreno is the price tag. Like I said, 28 years old, plays for a good team, just won the Euros, and although he wasn't a starting player, he definitely is a very, very good player, and the fee being touted about is about between 20 and 30 million pounds. And in this market, you can't really go out there and get any player of a comparable level for that price point. So I would be looking at that and saying Arsenal probably need to bring him in. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on it, but I would definitely be excited if a player like Moreno come in, because like I said, I think he could link well with Martinelli. We're going to have Yuri and Timber starting in that left-back position next season, so I think that's going to be a more solid position. If we get Calafiori as well, obviously he's going to be on that left-back position, but if we can get a guy in that number 8 position with a left foot that likes linking in with the left winger, that left wing position, we had this discussion so many times last season. It was kind of like a graveyard shift. There wasn't much service being provided for that left winger. It was just Trossard at times was able to play that role and get himself in the right position to score some massive goals. I think if we can bring Moreno in, that would really help Gabriel Martinelli. And Martinelli is a player that we need to bring back up to the level that we saw him at 2 seasons ago. And I think Mikel Moreno would be a good way in making that happen. Let me know your thoughts on that. I also wanted to speak about William Saliba, because he was named in the Euros team of the tournament. You know, this is crazy, isn't it? So many Arsenal fans saw how good Saliba was. So many other fans around the world saw how good Saliba was. And Didier Deschamps wasn't fully excited about this player. He didn't fully buy into the Saliba thing. But, you know, he went away with France. He kind of shoehorned, like, he made Deschamps pick him. He got in front of Konate at last minute, it seemed, because it wasn't too long ago that Deschamps was coming out and saying he doesn't really like things that the Saliba does for the French team. And that's just that's just testament to the character that Saliba is. You know, he kind of never gives up. He went away with a French team, got involved in the squad, and now he's involved in the team of the tournament, team of the season last season for the Premier League, and before that, player of the league in the French league. This is just a player who's going from strength to strength. So glad William Saliba is an Arsenal player, and I just wanted to bring that in because it just shows how impressive William Saliba is at 23 years old. It doesn't matter what league he's playing in, what tournament he's playing in, he always seems to be one of the best players. The next bit I wanted people's opinions on, because it is Emil Smith-Rowe to Fulham or Crystal Palace. Arsenal have rejected bids, and the money being offered is actually not too bad. I would, of course, like to see more numbers on that. Look, the fee that Arsenal rejected apparently is £30 million plus add-ons for Fulham. What do you guys think of that? And not only what do you think of that, what do you think is an acceptable fee for Emil Smith-Rowe? Would you be hoping for closer to £50 million? Do you think we can get £50 million for Emil Smith-Rowe? It looks like Emil Smith-Rowe is definitely going to be leaving in this summer transfer window. We've had this discussion for about a month or two now. Arteta didn't really want to use him towards the end of last season. We heard in the last transfer window, Arsenal came out and said, listen, Emil Smith-Rowe isn't available. We're not going to be selling Emil Smith-Rowe. We haven't really heard, and I certainly haven't heard from the things I've been hearing, that Arsenal are not willing to sell Emil Smith-Rowe. And that is, look, we got the bids coming in now. I'm pretty much 90% that Emil Smith-Rowe will be sold. I think it's just a matter of waiting until Fulham or Crystal Palace reach that price point. If I'm talking about a developmental point of view, I think Fulham would be the perfect team for Emil Smith-Rowe. They've just lost Paulinho. They're going to be needing another guy to go in that central midfield or centre attacking midfield position and really make their own. I think he could get quite a lot of minutes at Fulham. And I think in terms of their style of play, I actually think he would suit that team. I think Fulham would be the perfect team for Emil Smith-Rowe. But let me know what you think Arsenal should accept as an offer for Emil Smith-Rowe. Do you think it's 50 million? Do you think it's 40 million? Or do you think Arsenal should have accepted the 30 million bid? Let me know. The final thing I want to talk about is Big Benny Blanco. Gareth Southgate has left England. Does that mean Ben White is now drafted back into this England team? I'm seeing so much hate and sourness out there from rival fans of saying, oh no, well, even if Ben White was available for selection, he wouldn't get in this team anyway. And I just think, what are you talking about? Ben White walks back into this England team over Kyle Walker, who was terrible. He couldn't even play. I don't know how he winged it into the team of the tournament over Carvajal in the Euros. Look, I like Kyle Walker. I do think he's the best Premier League right back of all time. But to put him in the team of the tournament for the Euros, I don't know why they was trying to shoehorn him in there, because he definitely didn't deserve it. I don't think Kyle Walker had a good tournament at all. So I think that right back position is going to be available for England going forward. Ben White's still young. Ben White is the perfect right back to have in that position. Yes, we still have Trent. Yes, we still have Reece James. If he can stay off the hospital bed, this guy is injured every 2.5 weeks. But I think Ben White should definitely be involved in this England team. I would like to see it as an England fan, because I think it'd be England's best defender. I'm sure you guys, if you're supportive of another country, you're from another country, you don't want Ben White to play for England because it will be more games for Arsenal players. But I just thought it was interesting. Do you think, if you're an England fan, or if you're not an England fan, do you think Ben White will start getting selected when the next England manager comes in? Let me know. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, like I said, please just do me a favour. Hit like on this video. Just like it and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.